Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 250,000 subscribers. Now we're about 8,000 shy, so hit subscribe, watch, but most importantly, share, because there's so much that's going on. In fact, there's so much going on right now. There are two breaking news topics. The first one, 4 years ago today, obviously January 6th, at almost this exact time, we all, you, me, all of us, witnessed a January 6th insurrection on the Capitol. After that, a motion, the second breaking news, that a motion was filed by Todd Blanche, Trump's counsel, to delay or dismiss Trump's sentencing, which is due to take place. That's, of course, the hush money case on January 10th. So let me start by going and showing you a clip of the January 6th insurrection. Play the clip.
That was a day of love.
Hey, brother, we're boots on the ground here. We're moving on the Capitol now.
Multiple capital entries! Multiple capital entries!
That was a day of love.
Hey, brother! Still taking metal, sharpened objects, missiles.
That was a day of love. That was a day of love.
America or Trump?
Okay. I know that a lot of people get angry at me and they say, oh, Michael, now you're bending a knee, you're taking a knee for Donald Trump. What's the reason for it, and so on? I want to be clear about something. What this channel is about, it's about truth and it's about accuracy, about reality. I'm not here to adhere to people's desires to denigrate Trump or to smash Trump. I'm here to explain. And I explain it because I know him better than virtually anybody on this planet. He's not wrong when he says it was a day of love. And you say, how is that possible? They're smashing in. They built a gallows to hang Mike Pence. They wanted to kill Nancy Pelosi. Police officers were beaten with bats and sticks. One person died. Here's what you're missing. It was a day of love for Donald Trump. Remember the people that were there wearing their red MAGA flags, wearing their red MAGA hats, wearing also the MAGA Trump flags around their necks, like if they were a superhero. This was all being done for him. So when he says this was a day of love, maybe he's just not finishing his entire thought, which is it was a day of love for me, something that he cares more about than anything else. That's the point that people are missing. He's not making something up. This isn't a day of love towards the police. He didn't say that. It's not a day of love towards America. No, he's not saying that. It was a day of love for Trump. All of the folks with the MAGA, the Trump 20 flags, the red MAGA hats. That's all he saw, and that's all he cared about on that specific day. Now, on Friday, this past Friday, Judge Juan Merchan, the judge in the Manhattan DA hush money criminal trial, upheld President-elect Donald Trump's felony conviction. He turned around and he said, I'm not undoing what 12 jurors determined, 34 counts of guilt. And he went ahead and after all of the delays, including the sentencing delays, he has now set a sentencing date for this Friday, January 10th. Well, as expected, this morning, Todd Blanche, his lawyer, filed their notice of appeal seeking to stop the sentencing. And I want to show you something. I want to show you something and then I'm going to read it to you, and then I want you to get my reaction. By virtue of President Trump's filing of appellate proceedings raising his claims of presidential immunity, all proceedings in this court are automatically stayed by operation of federal constitutional law. This, again, is the conclusion of Todd Blanche, Emile Beauvais, and so on. In the alternative, even if such a stay were discretionary, the court should grant such a stay. The court should vacate the sentencing hearing scheduled for January 10th, 2025, and suspend all further deadlines in the case until President Trump's immunity appeals are fully and finally resolved which should result in a dismissal of this case, which should have never been brought in the first place. Further, President Trump respectfully requests that this court notify the parties by Monday, January 6, 2025, at 2 p.m., whether the court intends to proceed with the sentencing hearing on January 10, 2025, which should not occur, notwithstanding President Trump's interlocutory appeal on immunity to allow sufficient time for President Trump to seek an emergency appellate review. Now, let me go on to say this. This is a last-ditch attempt in order to stop something which, in all fairness, it's not as terrible as what many people were hoping for, that Donald Trump would be sentenced and actually see what it looks like behind bars in an orange jumpsuit. That's not going to happen. In fact, what Judge Merchan turned around and decided to do in this ultimate decision, something I have never in my entire life seen. I've never seen a judge do a dismissal of a case after an automatic dismissal, after the case has already been determined by the 12 jurors, after a full-blown trial. I've just never seen that before. In fact, I never even heard of anything like it. I've been looking online to see if anything like this has ever showed up before, and to this moment, I have not been able to find it. But then again, in true Trump fashion, he lashes out against Judge Merchan, who posted in his decision, this decision that came out this last Friday, that Donald Trump will never be held accountable. There will be no accountability as a result of that case, other than the fact that we will get a chance to call him a felon. Other than that, there is no downside. But then again, as I said before, in Trump true fashion, he lashes out against Judge Merchan, who actually told him he doesn't even need to appear in person, that he can do it virtually. Another thing that basically never happens, unless, of course, sometimes it happened during COVID. Now, I want to show you Trump's aggressive posts, but I first want to go over Judge Merchan's decision where he talks about me. And I've said to you before, what this program is about. It's about truth and accuracy. And here's what Judge Juan Merchan said on page 10 of that 18-page decision posted. Thus, the argument is meritless. He's talking about Todd Blanche's. As to the allegations that Michael Cohen provided unreliable, perjured testimony, this court presided over the entire trial and sat mere feet from all the witnesses who testified. In doing so, this court had an opportunity to listen to their testimony and to observe their demeanor, and therefore to form an opinion as to their credibility. And having done so, it does not agree, meaning the court does not agree with defendant's characterization of Mr. Cohen's testimony. All right, what he's saying is, I told the truth. And why? Why? Because all of the testimony was corroborated either by other testimony of other witnesses or by documentary evidence, by posts, by tweets, by emails, and so on. All right. Now, I want to show you an article. I want to show you an article that talks just about this. All right. There's 3 parts. Judge upholds Trump's conviction, but signals that there will be no jail time. The New York judge who oversaw President-elect Donald J. Trump's hush money trial scheduled his sentencing for January 10th. Mr. Trump is expected to appeal his conviction. Next part. A New York judge on Friday, that's Judge Juan Merchan, upheld President-elect Donald J. Trump's felony conviction, but signaled that he was inclined to spare him any punishment. I wish they would have done that with me. I got 6 fucking years. A striking development in a case that had spotlighted an array of criminal acts and imperiled the former and future president's freedom. The judge, Juan M. Merchan, indicated that he favored a so-called unconditional discharge of Mr. Trump's sentence, a rare and lenient alternative to jail or probation. meaning he gets nothing. He set a sentencing date to give him nothing of January 10th and ordered Mr. Trump to appear either in person or virtually. The last part of this turns around and says an unconditional discharge would cement Mr. Trump's status as a felon just weeks before his inauguration. He would be the first to carry that dubious designation into the presidency, even as it would water down the consequences for his crimes. Not water it down. There are no consequences. Unlike a conditional discharge, which allows defendants to walk free if they meet certain requirements, such as maintaining employment or paying restitution, an unconditional discharge would come without strings attached. All right? There is no accountability. Now, I want to show you the tweets or the posts that Trump put out. And here's one that he posted on Friday. It turns around and says, every legal scholar and pundit, including the highly respected and sadly recently passed Dave Rivkin, as well as Jonathan Turley, Ellie Honig, Andy McCarthy, Alan Dershowitz, Greg Jarrett, Elizabeth Price Foley, Katie and Andy Chikatsky, Paul Ingrassia, and many others have unequivocally stated that the Manhattan DA's witch hunt is a non-existent case, which is not only barred by the statute of limitations, but on the merits should never have been brought. This illegitimate political attack is nothing but a rigged charade. Acting Justice Merchan, who is a radical partisan, just issued another order that is knowingly unlawful, goes against our Constitution, and if allowed to stand, would be the end of the presidency as we know it. Merchan has so little respect for the Constitution that he is keeping in place an illegal gag order on me, your president and president-elect, just so I cannot expose his and his family's disqualifying and illegal conflicts. I am the only political opponent in American history not allowed to defend myself, a despicable First Amendment violation. Now, let me be very clear. That's absolutely not accurate, okay? Let me be very clear. There's my book, How Donald Trump Weaponized the United States Department of Justice Against His Critics. You know what revenge is about? Revenge is about forcing me or wanting me to sign a counterfeit document which would have violated my First Amendment constitutional rights. I said no. I was immediately remanded back to prison where I spent more time in solitary confinement, bringing my stay in solitary to 51 days. So that also happens to be absolutely wrong. My friends, I want to be very clear about something. Facts matter. Okay? Facts matter. Donald Trump will never, ever be held accountable for these actions. It's why I said in my Vanity Fair statement that I don't believe that this case should even continue further, that Donald should be dismissed. What's the difference? There is no effect. It's like smashing something in your house, and then your parents, instead of punishing you, they go out and they buy you a gift. That's what we have going on here. There is no downside. Absolutely no accountability whatsoever. For the same crimes, by the way, again, that I was sentenced to 3 years of incarceration and 3 years supervised release. Donald Trump has managed to escape this completely. And it's why I turn around and I say that sending the president in to become president of the United States on January 20th, solely so that we can call him Mr. Felony President, doesn't do anything for any of us. And as always, thanks for listening.
Hey everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.